I'm joined here today by a budding prospect set to make the pro debut coming up real soon, Jahmar Whitehead. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Good, man. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. It's kind of weird, right? Because we know you're making a pro debut. There's a lot of buzz going on, and stuff like that, but not a whole lot of information that's out there currently as you guys are trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, we're just waiting on the contracts to be signed right now, so a lot of people probably haven't heard of me just yet, but I can guarantee within just one or two fights, I'll everybody's gonna know my name within one or two fights. And I know it sounds cocky, but it's also just honest. So
Well, you have to be confident too. Everybody's always like, "Oh, you sound cocky, you sound this." It's like, can I just be confident, right? If you're confident in your abilities, and you can speak stuff into existence too.
exactly, man. Exactly. Speak it into existence. That's all I'm doing, day in, day out.
And I'm seeing your manager Dan. It seems like he's making a big push, right? Since he's kind of part of the media, he's letting people know about you, letting people know, like, hey, watch out for this guy. Like, he's got some exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, man. I mean, Dan's been with me since day one. I first met him when I was 13 years old. Um,
Wow.
yes. For those that don't know, I'm 21 now. I'm about to turn 22 at the end of this month. And like I said, he's been with me since 13. I remember when I first met him. One of my first few encounters with him was Daniel. I'm gonna be a UFC champion. And it was for me, it's a moment I definitely remember because it was for me a very heartfelt moment.
Right.
Usually at that age, if you guys know who Jason Jackson is, not to call the man out, it's actually a source of inspiration and motivation for me. But when I was 12 years old, right before I moved to Atlanta, and I met Daniel, I was working at my aunt's hair salon down in Florida, and I met Jason Jackson, and I thought it was the coolest thing. I never really met a pro fighter like that. I think he was just going to the Ultimate Fighter or just coming off. Either way, it's like, man, I just saw this guy on TV, and I was like, man, I want to be a fighter one day. I'm going to be a fighter. I kind of said the same thing. I want to be a UFC champion. And he looked at me for like 5 seconds with like a blank stare, and then he put his hands in his face like this and just laughed at me and said, "You're never gonna make it." So
So I have to ask: is this a Shaq and David Robinson story where this is like the story to like hype you up, but it never really happened, or is it? Or this guys literally look at you and laugh at you, in right in front of your face?
man, they really did it. It messed with me for a long time, for years. I'll be honest. You see a guy that was just in the UFC where you want to be, and you're working at 12 years old at your aunt's hair salon, and you meet him. I thought it was such a cool day, and it was like it went from being like potentially the best day ever to easily one of the worst days. You know what I mean? But it's either going to retire you or inspire you. It inspired me, man, and now I'm here today. I'm about to make my pro debut, and I'm getting so much buzz. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of crazy to me. It's almost surreal, but I've worked so hard for all this, so it's to be expected in my opinion.
So what's the deal? Like, are you gonna have to fight Jason Jackson at some point where you've got him like on the ground and pound? You're just like, who's the pro fighter now? Go like, does this have to happen at some point?
No, I think my success and my results speak for itself. Plus, he's a 170 pounder. I'm a 35er, but I think yeah, he knows who I am. I message him pretty often after my first fight ever for the NFC. I made sure to message him, and he messaged me back, said good stuff. I messaged him after I won a Muay Thai World Championship. I messaged him after I got a 10-second head kick knockout. So he does. I have to give him credit. He does reach out to me. He does respond to me, and he does in a way support me. So it's pretty cool.
There we go. That was your way of like, you won't believe in me? All right, you're gonna follow me every step of the way in this journey, and you're gonna watch me as I succeed after you said I wouldn't.
Exactly, man. And it's great. It's great.
So what's your background in combat sports? Like, I know just speaking with Dan, like you won some tournaments back in the day, you had some stuff going on. What's kind of your backgrounds in martial arts?
So I started martial arts. I started Taekwondo when I was about 4 or 5. And I did that all the way until I was 14. I won regional championships, state championships, uh, national championships, world championships, Pan Am's, junior Olympian 2 times. So one time, my last time doing it, I was a gold medalist. So I had a very successful career in Taekwondo. I felt like the competition was almost getting in a way in a sense, too easy, which is why I went over to, kickboxing and Muay Thai. That's real fighting there. And then obviously the whole focus, of course, was MMA. But at the time where I'm from, Atlanta, you can't fight until you're 18 in MMA. So I did Muay Thai and kickboxing for a long time, focused on that. Really got really good at that, I would say, not to toot my own horn. But like I said, I became a world champion uh, and did a lot of stuff, man. I got some finishes in there. So, yeah, man, it was I think Taekwondo is definitely my foundation. Anybody that watches me fight, they can see it in my footwork and stuff like that. So Taekwondo is something I use on a daily basis. Definitely something I practice on a daily basis. So
So it sounds like the thing people are going to be watching out for as you're making your pro debut and going along with your career is going to be that striking, right? Like that's going to be the thing people are going to mention when they talk about you.
I figure so, but I think they'll be in for quite a surprise when they see my wrestling, my grappling abilities too. I am a blue belt under Guy Curry and Curry BJJ. So he's actually fighting this weekend. Real quick shout out to him. He's fighting for the NFC Featherweight Championship main event. Guy, you got it, man. Coach, let's get it. So, I've been with him since day one as well. So I know I'm pretty confident on the ground as well. Anywhere a fight goes with anybody, pretty much, I'm pretty confident. Even sometimes I watch these guys in the UFC, and I know it sounds cocky, and I know a lot of guys think this way, but I know for a fact I can beat these guys. I'm not gonna. I'm a realist. I'm gonna be honest. So these guys that are top five, maybe not them, but these guys that are making their UFC debut, these guys that are 1-0, 1-1 in the UFC, they're really not that good. They're just looking good because they're in the UFC. Does that make sense?
So is the goal for you like strictly UFC, or would some time in Bellator, some time in PFL, like, or is it ultimately like if it's not the UFC, then you're going to look back disappointed on your career?
I think the ultimate goal is the UFC, but I don't think I would ever be upset if I was in Bellator or PFL. But with that being said, if that's my first place to stop, if that's Bellator or PFL, the ultimate goal is still not reached yet. It hasn't been fulfilled yet. The ultimate goal is always going to be the UFC. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, though. If I win a Bellator World Championship, that's great too. If I win that PFL $1 million tournament, I have a smile on my face, But the UFC is where I definitely want to be. It's something that I've pretty much always dreamed of. So I'm gonna get there, no doubt in my mind.
So what was it that made you turn pro? Like I know for some guys, it's like eventually you reach a point you can't find any more fights in the amateur scene, or you have someone that tells you, you're ready. Like what was it that led you to make that decision?
So it's really quick. Of course, with Taekwondo, I've been fighting for a very, very, very long time. Taekwondo is very similar to kickboxing fights without the leg kicks. Essentially, that's really the only difference. So in a sense, I grew up doing kickboxing for a very, very long time. Then I actually had real kickboxing fights, became a world champion in that, went to MMA, did very well in that. I was actually ranked number one in the nation by B2 Sports. Um, so that's something really cool. I got a 25-second body kick KO on my last fight in December. So with all things aligning, people not wanting to fight me as an amateur, I think it's about that time for me to take that step. And once again, on top of that, I told you how I feel about these guys in the UFC. It's time to put that to the test. If I feel that way, why am I just going to sit back and keep fighting these mediocre guys? If I think I can beat that guy at a pro level, let's do it. I'm ready.
So what's the career plan as you head pro? Like, did you sit down with anybody and say like, here's kind of how we want to do it step by step, or where we want to fight and stuff, or is it at this point just taking the fights and seeing where it takes you?
A little bit of both. So I'm the fighter. I'm the athlete. I leave most of it to Daniel. Of course, it's a partner deal. If he comes to me with a fight, if I like it, 9 times out of 10, I like it. So if I like it, boom, there's not really much to talk about. If I don't like it, I'll tell him why. He'll tell me why he does. Whatever the case may be, we have a very strong partnership on that. And I think it actually, although he's just launching his management company, he's been managing me since my very first fight in Atlanta. You know what I mean? It's so my amateur career was really his practice career in managing. You know what I mean? So it was kind of perfect. Now we're at the pro level. We have all the exposure we need. We've got all the accolades we need. I mean, you see me. I'm obviously very marketable, you know. So, we're ready. We're ready for whatever comes. We're gonna blow up. It's inevitable at this point. I go in there. I look great when I fight. I don't really get hit, as you can tell, and I beat ass every single time. Whether that's taking somebody to Sky City and slamming them on their dome, or that's knocking somebody's head off with a head kick. Whatever it is, we got it. So yeah, man, that's really it. Daniel really, he has my career locked down. I feel like I have 100% utmost faith in him. So good, we're good on that.
So what can you tell us about the pro debut date wise? Like, is there an idea when we can expect to see you fight for the first time as a professional?
May, early May, early May. I'll say it. May 8th. May 8th is the date.
There
Boom.
we go.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys stay tuned, man. Stay tuned.
And so one last thing, like without mentioning the opponent and stuff, I'm not gonna ask you how you see yourself getting the win, but how do you see that pro debut
Oh,
going? What are you gonna look to show out there?
I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna beat his ass. It's very easy. It's very, very simple, straightforward. Wherever the fight goes, this guy has nothing for me. It's very evident. Once I announce who it is and anybody does their research on this guy, he is undefeated as a professional. No, he doesn't have as many fights. No, he's not a Bellator veteran, but he is undefeated, and I'm gonna take away that O really easily. I don't think there's gonna be anything this guy has to offer me. I mean, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna be calm, cool, collected, precise. Like I said, wherever the fight goes, I am better. I'm telling you. Striking, already told you enough. I don't think you even need to see any video on him or me to know that I'm winning the striking battle. Grappling, I wish he would try to take me down. And if I take him down, he's not getting up. It's pretty obvious. This guy has nothing for me. Joshua Dillon, you have nothing for me. I'm going to beat your ass on the canvas. There's nothing you have to offer me. Joshua Dillon is a dead man. Dang, I didn't want to release it, but now I have to. Joshua Dillon, done, man. I promise you that.
Yeah, there we go. We got the date reveal, we got the opponent reveal, we got everything. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on making the pro debut. It's a very exciting time in your career.
Thanks, man. Real quick, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, the Rockstar MMA, all one word, no underscore, no nothing. The Rockstar MMA. Shout out Foliato clothing brand, always taking care of me. And I appreciate you, my man.